Hey guys, welcome to English 10. We are talking this week after our essay, what is going on. So let's talk. We got text 4 in La Rinconada, text 5, which isn't till Thursday, with the Golden Touch and King Midas, and then Achieve 2, which will be on Friday. So that's what we have coming up this week. So let's look at text 4. In our green folder, text 4, we have Rinconada vocab, only 3 words, look those up. Then we read the text, and I set it up for you so it's easy access right there if you wanted a quick link. Otherwise, you're welcome to go back to your resources and find it the way we have them. There is a Zoom recording, and the password is here. So just take that password and enter that passcode here, and you can watch the Zoom that you missed from Tuesday. Then you have a handout. These are examples from section 1 of your handout from students who completed it on Monday. If you click that handout, it'll make a copy for you. There's 3 sections, and they're color-coded for your organizational benefit. Section 1 there is word choice. Section 2 is about literary nonfiction, and then section 3 is comprehension. So section 3, as always, this blue section is the one you fill out while you read the text. So I love to have this open at the same time I'm reading through the text, because generally 1 through 4 go in order of the text. Not always, but generally. After you complete the handout, make sure to submit that here. Then there's a question here that will set you up for success in our group project, which is a slideshow. This is when you answer these questions using the information I highlighted. What brings comfort in the story? What brings people anxiety? Remember to be intentional to refer to the text when answering these questions. It's not what brings comfort to you personally at your own home, but reflect on the story. What brings people anxiety? So both those reflect on the story, which is why number 1 says refer to the text. Make sure that you use examples. The next question prepares you for the final essay, which is when you will tackle this question, a question regarding want versus need. So you're going to need to think about the 2 questions below and how the text covers the ideas of want and need. So in the comment box, you'll write your answer to those questions and include quote from the text to support your answer. So question 1 is, how do we decide what we want versus what we need? And what can result from an imbalance between want and need? So here are the 3 things that you're tackling. And then here's an example of how to tackle those. Here's the example answer for how do we decide what we want versus what we need. As humans, we generally decide what we want based on what we grew up with. For example, I think I need warm showers, comfortable clothes, furniture, and room temperatures. I think I need my own car and food that's delicious, as well as freedom and money to afford to go wherever I want, including on vacation. But in La Rinconada, they don't have any of these things. They literally only have what they need. Paragraph 5, some textual evidence there. There's no sewage system, no water, no paved roads, no sanitation whatsoever. It's a wilderness of ice, rock, and gold, perched 18,000 feet up in the Peruvian Andes. Another piece of evidence for that is that the only convenience here is electricity. So they don't have all the things that I think I need, but they have the things that they actually need. And so from an imbalance of want and need, I said, if you need something that you actually if you need something that you actually only want, it can result in discomfort for others, even death. And that's referring to paragraph 1. Gold. The Aztecs killed for it. The Inca enslaved whole populations for it. And it didn't get better when the Spanish conquistadors came. So, this information is an example of how you can answer those 2 questions. And just make sure that you include textual evidence. So that's the main thing in text 4. Monday through Tuesday, we have now completed all of the steps that we need there. Which leads us to the next day. Text 3. Whoops. Going backwards in time. That was from last Friday. Text 5. You'll compare and contrast 2 different texts You'll use the handout, and this handout you'll follow the link to get to, just like others. There's 3 sections here. This one is poetic structures, narrative structure. So those 2 sections there is what you'll look at, focusing on different poetic structures as well as narrative structures that you're familiar with, like plot and conflict. Poetic structures I love, so let's talk about those. So poetic structure is the way in which a poet arranges the words and lines in a poem. 2 key elements in poetic structure are stanza and rhyme. So a group of lines is a stanza. So it's like a paragraph, but in poetry it's called a stanza. Types of stanzas are named for how many lines are in the stanza. So a couplet has 2 lines because it's a couple. A tercet has 3 lines, a quatrain 4, a sestet 6, and an octave has 8. So you can see it usually goes 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8. Rhyme, on the other hand, is a repetition, as you guys know, of sounds and words like you learned in kindergarten. But what you now know as an adult is that there's more than just exact rhymes like the ones you learned in kindergarten, cat and bat. There's also slant rhymes. They have similar but not exact sounds. Think about raps. Rappers are ridiculously good at using slant rhymes. You know, the sounds sound really similar, but they're not quite a rhyme. But it still sounds good in the following line. So they might have a different consonant sound, but vowel sounds are similar, or vice versa. So dog, dig, those are considered slant rhymes because they have the same d and the g, even though the ah and the I are different. Other slant rhymes may have the same vowel sound, whereas the consonant is different. Sign, find. Love slant rhymes. Again, check out rappers. They're so good at them. I'm just thinking about Chance the Rapper when I'm saying that too. Even his, when he's featured in Justin Bieber's new song, Holy, his rap there includes a lot of slant rhymes. A poem's rhyme scheme then describes the pattern of end rhymes. So it's the rhymes at the end of a line. So I went to the store. That's the end of a line. So store, what rhymes with store? To get some milk, I needed more. That's another end of a line. So those store and more rhyme. So they could create a rhyme scheme. So rhyme schemes are identified by assigning 1 letter to each rhyming sound in the poem. So store and more both rhyme, so they would be A and A. The example they give here is labeling 3 lines with the rhyme scheme ABA shows that lines 1 and 3 rhyme, but line 2 does not rhyme with them. So I went to the store, but I didn't see any food. Some milk, I needed more, would be your ABA rhyme. So 1 through 3 revolve around poetry, and here 1, 2, 3, 4 revolves around narrative structure. So that's the handout and golden touch from Midas, which leaves you with the last question about textual evidence, including want versus need. You will answer again these 2 questions, including a quote from maybe both the texts, maybe either of those texts, if we are reading 2 in that one, and that goes in the comment section. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, as you guys can see, is our second achieve number 2. And this one you have 2 options here. You have the option to read high tech hide and seek or school names fuel debate. So you'll start with the discussion, which starts with how would you feel if. The first one is how would you feel if your school was named after a very bad person? Would you care? Why or why not? Or how would you feel if you found buried treasure? What would it be? What would you do with it? So that's how the achieve starts. Then you move on to the instructions here, which tell you to first read the article carefully with intentionality, because you know you have to get a good score or you get a 0. Second thing you do then is you do the activity, and after reading the article, complete the activity and get 75% or better. Remember, scores are recorded in the grade book. So much so that less than 75% gets you no grade. If your activity score is less than 75%, you don't get a grade. So you need 75% or better, which would get you 50 out of 50 in the grade book. That's 100%. If you get 100% on the very first try, that means you get 60 out of 50, which is 120% in the grade book. That will really boost you. So make sure to do that, achieve it, and take it seriously. If you have an accident and you get less than 75, pick another article, any article, and then follow steps 1 through 3 again. That's these. All right. If on your second article you do poorly on your activity a second time, it is likely because you are not going slow enough and not focused enough, and you will get 0 out of 50 in the grade book. You can't change that score. You can't make up that score. So don't waste your time. Be really intentional the first time. And the first time you're, of course, reading either high-tech hide and seek or school names fuel debate. This is LAN 100, so you'll want to open the LAN 100 class that you have when you get into Achieve. So the last thing you do is you submit your screenshot. Make sure when you submit your screenshot, you do a screenshot. Here's the instructions. If you can't see this keyboard, you can zoom in with control, the control button on the bottom left of your keyboard, and plus up here, plus. That will make the screen bigger like this. Here goes my notebook. Control plus makes your screen bigger, just like mine. You hit Control Show Screen for your screenshot. If those instructions aren't enough for you, Google it. Say, how do I in Google screenshot on Chromebook? And it will give you steps. You can even watch YouTubes about it. Once you've got your screenshot, what you're looking for in it is to make sure you have your score. Here at the bottom, you can see my score for my first try. That's the one you need. Second try is still good, but this is the one that actually gets you points. And then you need to have it so that my name doesn't show up here, but your name shows up here at the top. If you can't remember how to get on Achieve, go through these steps below. It's literally step by step and give you everything you need to be able to complete the activity and be awesome. So the last thing you do here is, if you are finished early, you can catch up on missed work. I highly suggest it, since this Friday is your last day to do any makeup work. So catch up on missed work first thing first. Start always with the things that are worth the most. Catch up on missed work by going into Infinite Campus and checking your grade there. Or you can read another article and Achieve for fun. Or you can respond to this question. What's your favorite family trip and why? You write that in the comments. When you and someone else are done, you can then reply to 2 peers. This is what you do when you are finished, and not until you are finished. But again, catch up on late work, because Friday the 13th is your last day to turn it in. All right. So that's the end for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. All right, talk to you later. Have a wonderful day.